Hello. Okay, guys, we are live. So, hello everyone. I am Harshal Jain, and today is the last video of movie booking application. So, previously we actually had 7 sessions, and in those 7 sessions, we almost completed all the APIs, the admin panel, and the front end part. And in the front end part, just 2-3 more pages are left, which we are going to finish today. Also, one more thing, guys, if you want to get the complete source code for last few days, what you can do is simply you can check out the description. You would find my GitHub profile. You can visit my GitHub profile and it would actually take you to this page. Okay, so I'll just refresh, and this is my GitHub profile. Just need to type github.com/VIRA014. Inside this, just yeah, you can follow me and you can check out my social handles also. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comment or you can message me personally here. Okay, so in the repositories, just go into repositories, and here you would get movie booking 3x backend, movie booking 3x, this is front end, and one more is the admin, movie booking 3x admin. So if you don't find these in future, you simply have to search the names here, you would find these. Okay, so the complete source code is available. If you don't have the source code, you can actually take the source code from here. You can clone the source code, or you can download the source code from here, right? And guys, one more thing, you can also mark it as a star so that it's available in the stars section, so that bookmark. Okay, so now one more thing, in the description we have a few links, so you can actually check out the courses provided by Geeks for Geeks. And if you want to become a MERN stack developer, probably much better than me, so you can definitely check out the courses provided by Geeks for Geeks in the description. And this is a full stack based course. That means you'll be taught from basics of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then some GitHub knowledge. Then after that you will be taught React.js. Then after that, MERN stack complete. Okay, so do check out that course, and if you find the content useful for you, and if you want to learn MERN stack, definitely go for that course. Okay, so now let's start the project, and what I would do is let's open it in VS Code. So guys, today's video might be long, maybe more than an hour or 2 hours. Okay, so just have some dinner or whatever you want, and you don't need to code with me, but you need to understand everything. So just try to understand everything, and then you can take the source code from my GitHub repository. So now let's begin. So I'll just open it in VS Code, and till last day we have actually covered some inner pages of the book ticket part. Okay, so today we are going to fix some API part, and then that means also the backend as well as the front end. Okay, so what I'll do, guys, is I'll open all these three, that means backend, front end, and admin panel, so that you know how these three things are working all together. Okay, so today we are going to use all these three together. For admin, what we're going to do is we have created the admin panel in the previous videos, and today the use of admin panel would be to create schedules for the theater. For example, tomorrow is suppose 5 October. Okay, October. So for 5 October, I would create a schedule for suppose 10:30 a.m. for some movie, suppose for 11:30 a.m. for some other movie, for 1 p.m. for some other movie. So you can see a single screen would have a day. In that day, there would be different schedules. So we created that, and the complete logic was available in the previous videos. So guys, if you want to check the complete logic, if you want to get the complete logic, what you can do is you can simply visit the GeeksforGeeks development channel. There you would find the playlist named as MERN 3x, something like that. So you can check out that playlist. There you would find the complete movie booking videos. Okay, you just have to look for movie booking, and there you would find around 7 videos have been uploaded, and this is the last video, right? So now let's continue, and just give me a minute. All right, guys. So now what would I do is I would simply go to my terminal, and actually I have to open it in integrated terminal. So let me just delete it. And now first of all, let's open the backend. So for that, I'll just type open an integrated terminal. Just right click and open an integrated terminal. Then you would simply type in Actually, for the backend, you have to type nodemon. Okay. Then for the front end, you have to type npm run dev. Okay. So let's start with this. But one more thing, guys, in the backend, we actually were only having this as front end URL, right? But for example, your admin panel is running on localhost 3001 and your client is running on localhost 3000. So obviously this is only working for clients. So how you're gonna access the admin panel? How you're going to say that admin panel which is running on this URL can access my backend? So for that you can simply say, you can add one more URL here, whatever is your front end URL. So I'm just gonna say that localhost 3001 can also access my backend. That's it. So that's what course is. So if you mention it like this, you would never receive a course error, and a lot of beginners actually face this issue. So I never skip the course part now, because why just cause an issue? Okay, a lot of people actually skip the course part, and it's very important, actually much secure, and not everyone can access your backend. Okay, so only these two front end URLs right now can access my backend. Okay, so let's continue, and here what we have to do is we have simply started it. Okay, now let's start the front end. So open an integrated terminal, npm run dev. Okay, similarly open the admin panel. Okay, so here also you can see npm run dev. So you can see at localhost 8000 my backend is running, at localhost 3000 which you have started first, that is the front end, my front end is running. And similarly at localhost 3001 your admin panel is running. Okay, because on localhost 3000 obviously front end is running, so you need some other port for admin panel. Okay, so three ports are being used right now. So let's try to check if they are looking fine in the browser. So first is localhost 8000, that is for my backend. You can see it's working. Then I would go for localhost 3000. This is my front end. Okay, similarly this is my this is my admin panel. Okay, so backend, front end, and this is the admin panel. Okay, so right now I have to log in with the admin panel, and I haven't created the home page, and I've just created a very basic admin panel so that our job is done. Okay, so we have done this previously, the login sign up part and all these pages with the APIs. We have completed this in last few videos, so you can check those videos. Our main agenda for today is add schedule. So you can see right now for any city I can add a schedule. Okay, so we created this very basic UI, and what it does is, for example, here you are just selecting a city, and once you have added the screen, first of all you have to add the screen. For example, for some city you have a screen, right? Similarly you can add multiple screens. Okay, so for example, if I search for any city here, so whatever city you have added from there, that means you have added 10 screens for a city, so you would receive all 10 screens here. Okay, so right now you can see I'm only receiving three screens because I've only added three screens. Okay, so you can see I'm receiving this screen, similarly this screen, similarly this screen. Okay, so this is what I selected. Similarly you're selecting some movie, suppose I selected this. Similarly you just select date, time, and you just save it. Okay, but right now let's first of all continue with the front end, because we have to continue the front end part. So let's first of all log in. So J123. Okay, so the UI is very basic, but you can make your own UI better. Like I've just tried to clone a bit more of book my show. Okay, so right now you can see we were in this page and we were getting the data into the console. We have to show that data in this page. Okay, so right now what we did was we want well, like we worked on the movie page, but we didn't add the cast and crew. So those arrays are actually empty right now. Okay, so for that I'm just going to show empty values, or just don't show them. But if you are adding your cast and crew, then you can actually show them. Okay, so let's do that. Let's complete this page. So for that, which was the exact page, this was the front end. Inside this src app and city name, and inside this was the movie page which we were talking about. Okay, so we actually called this API when we were ending the video. We called this API with just the movie ID, so we are actually getting the movie by movie ID. Okay, so we got the data and we just set that data into this hook. Okay, so let me just check if we are getting this data or not. So if I inspect and console, I've actually printed this, so you can see yes, we are getting some data. So you can see yes, we are getting this data, and you can check that this movie right now doesn't have the cast and crew. It actually has the description, duration, genre, title and rating, and portrait image URL, landscape image URL, whatever you have added from the admin panel. Okay, so admin panel looks like this, and when you want to add a movie, it looks like this. Okay, so whatever movie you are going to add from here would be definitely shown in the home slider, and according to that you can redirect to this page. Okay, so right now you can see we are getting the data, so we have to just show this data into our page. Okay, so let's start with the, like, we have already built this, we just have to map the things here. Okay, right, so first of all, guys, I'll just remove this. I'm just gonna copy paste my own things which I have already written so that we can save time. Okay, that's the UI was already created in previous videos. We just have to show the data. So I'll just say that if movie is here, okay, if movie is here, that means we have the movie, we printed the movie, and we set the movie into the movie hook. Okay, movie used it. So now I'll just say if movie is here, that means the movie value is not null. Movie initially is null, you can see, but once you get the data it's not null. So if it's not null, then continue. Okay, if it's null, then you won't be showing anything. You can do something else, redirect the user to some other page, login page, or show some error, whatever you want. Okay, so yes, this is the container. Inside this container, guys, okay, I think there is some issue with this. What's the problem? You can see corresponding closing tag. Okay, actually, it must work properly. Right now, I don't know why it's not working properly. Okay, let me just check. First of all, it looks like this. Anyways, so now if I just paste this again, okay, I actually we have to add one more division. I'm sorry. Yes, fine. Okay, so now, first section was C1, then we had C2. Okay, so let's talk about the C1 section. So we already created this section. First of all, the C1 section has this background image as landscape URL. I just added this. That means a complete landscape image. Okay, inside this we had C11 and C. Actually, we had three sections here. So inside C1, we actually had C11. Okay, so inside this, we actually have shown some details here. You can see what we did is inside C11, we have actually shown the, first of all, the portrait image of the movie, and then after that just some normal text, then the rating out of 10, and what else. You can see that we have also shown the duration, genre, and we have just joined the genre. That means if there are 3 values in the genre array, just show them by separating through commas. Okay, so after this, we are also showing this book tickets button. What this button does is, you can see if I click on this, it would take me to the buy tickets. Okay, so it was already done, and after that you can see we have created a share button, the temporary share button. Okay, so this was C11. Similarly, we are going to have C2 section. Okay, so this was C1 section. Similarly, we are going to have C2 section. Okay, so C2 section actually had a few details. I am only going to show you a few details here. Okay, this was the same which we had before. Just have added the description. Okay, just added the description. Then in the cast crew, you can see what I did was, if cast dot length is greater than 0, then only show this. Okay, and inside this I have added my horizontal line as well as the slider for cast. Okay, previously we were showing some temporary data, but right now the cast array is empty, so we are not showing anything. Okay, similarly we are saying that if crew is empty, then don't show the crew. Okay, similarly after this you are just simply showing the movie carousel. Okay, so right now the page would look like this if I just refresh. And guys, here you can see the problem is landscape image URL is not here. Okay, so the problem is, let me just retry here. So we are trying to get the data, but the problem here is the hook is called, okay, movie hook is called, and we are also getting the movie, right? Let me just check. Okay, so it's not able to read the landscape URL because let's come here in the backend, and you can see everything is fine here, everything is fine here. And if I just, first of all, okay, you can see we haven't added the null value. Okay, so you just have to say that if movie is null, then if not null, then only show the data. Okay, so if initially values are null, then this page won't be shown. Okay, it might take some time to load the movie page. Till then it won't be shown. Okay, so that's what you can do. So right now you can see it's working fine because previously values were null. It might take a delay of 2-3 seconds. Till then nothing would be shown. Okay, once data is there inside movie array, you have this. Okay, movie object, you have this. So you can see we have just shown the portrait image, behind it's the landscape image, the name, the rating, and all the things. Okay, so you can see the duration and the genre separated with commas, and the book ticket button. After that we have simply shown this slider, and right now cast and crew is hidden because the value of these is empty for now, and you can actually create a section for adding cast and crew. Right now I don't think that it's necessary, so I've just left it empty, but we have created the APIs. Okay, so you can use the APIs. So here we can see that after that, similarly, if you want to go to this page, so you can see I'm simply inside this page. So I've added some temporary data here, so you can see I'm getting some temporary data. Don't worry about the images, you can add some temporary data from here. For example, I'll just add some movie, for example, jailer. Okay, let's add a movie. Okay, so jailer, and I hope it's not logged out. Let me just check. Okay, it's fine. So yeah, just type the movie name, so jailer, and let's say it's a description, good movie, and let's give a portrait image. So I'm gonna add my photo. Okay, and similarly landscape image, so I'm gonna add some landscape image. So for landscape image, for example, I'm just going to add this. Okay, I'm just adding some temporary images because I don't want any kind of copyright. Okay, so I'll just say that we have rating of, for example, 5 out of 10, or suppose 6 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Okay, then I would just simply say that it's thriller, or again say action. Okay, and I would say that the duration is around 284 minutes. Okay, so now if I click on create movie, so guys, you can see that the create movie, if you click on this, I think there is some problem in the create movie. Let me just check. Okay, movie added successfully. As you can see, movie added successfully. Actually it would take some time to upload the image, then it would be done. Okay, so now let's go here, and now if I go to the home page, so for going to the home page, actually I needed to add this also. So I would simply go to the navbar, and navbar inside this, also do one thing here. Whenever you press the logo, you're just going to say that on click, navigate the user to home page. Okay, so you'll just say that navigate the user to home page, location dot href. Okay, href, fine. Let's see how it works. So yeah, if I just press this, it would take the user to home page. So if I click on this, let me just reload, and if I click on this, you can see now the user is in this, and you can see just now we added a movie, so it's here. If I click on this, you can see we have some details and some more details. Okay, so we have a movie here. Now let's talk about booking part. Okay, so I'll again go to the home page, and let's talk about this Jawan movie. Okay, so it's fine, and you can add some normal posters and images later on. Right now just temporary data is fine. So if I click on this book tickets, so you can see it is taking us to this page. Okay, it's taking us to this page. Right now this page is having some temporary data. You can see this is the temporary data first of all. Okay, so right now we are simply saying that we are inside which page. Okay, so this page is done, this page is done, guys. Simply you can see that, actually sorry, this page is done, movie page is done, and here you can simply see that when someone clicks on book now, book tickets, we are taking the user to the buy tickets page. Okay, so inside the buy tickets we have this page.tsx. Okay, so right now you can see we are showing the temporary data. So instead of this, we actually have to show the genuine data according to this id, so we are simply going to say for this city, for this city, for this movie id, for the current date, whatever the current date is selected by default, current date, today's date would be there, later on you can change it. So whatever date is here, for all these three fields, just show these screens. Okay, that means for today what screens are available. If you click on this, now inside this we added one more screen, that is for the timing. Okay, so I think we need to fix the UI part, so we'll fix that anyways. But I know you can see that yeah, it's taking us to this page. So let's first of all complete this. So this was the buy tickets page, right? So buy tickets, and inside this we want to get the data from some APIs. So guys, for that, first of all, I'm going to extract the params. Okay, so from parameters, I'm going to call movie ID. Okay, so we are just going to call use params from next.js. Okay, just import use params. Now you're just going to call the city name and movie ID from params. Okay, that means from the URL, you're just getting the city name and the movie ID, right? That's what we are getting. So we have this in this page. Now, after this, we are going to create a hook for selected date. So I would just say initial selected date would be the current date. And obviously, you can't book a ticket before today. Okay, for example, you can't book a day. For example, today is 4th October, so you can't book a ticket for 3 October or 2 October. Okay, obviously. So I'll just say that current date would be set to latest date. Okay, and today or above today, we can select the booking. Okay, so now we have just added a hook. So I would just say my initial date would be the current date, today's date. Okay, so one more thing is I would just say whatever movie you're gonna get from backend is going to be stored here. Okay, so right now I'll just comment this out because previously we were having a temporary object here. Now we are just going to call data from backend. Okay, similarly we are going to say that we are also going to call the theaters. For example, what theaters are available for this movie for this day. Okay, so we are going to call theaters from the backend. Okay, so we have everything. Now we are going to call a API by simply calling a function. Okay, so I'll just say const get movie. Okay, so get movie, and this is going to be an asynchronous function. Fine. And similarly, guys, we are also going to have one more function for getting the theaters for that movie. So I'll just say that we have get theaters equals, and I think we have to update some functions here. Okay, so you can see it looks fine. Okay, so that's it. These are the two functions which we are going to call. And what when we are going to say that, first of all, whenever the page loads, just call the movie data. Okay, but whenever there is a change in date, according to the date, we are going to show the theater. So I'll just say whenever there is a change in date, according to that, we are going to call the theaters. Okay, according to that, we are going to call the theaters. And one more thing here, we are going to pass the date as a parameter, and it would be string. Okay, so that's what I have defined here. Okay, so date, it's actually a date. Right, so guys, now we're going to talk about these. So first of all, you can see this is get movie. Okay, so let me just call the get movie API. So for that, let's go to the, I'll just close everything for now. I'll just close a few things from here. Okay, anyways, now let's go to the backend. And in backend, actually, I'll just close the front end and the backend. You can see we have the routes, movie, and here guys you have to check for get movie by id. You can see I'm talking about this API, right? So I think everything is fine with this API, but let me just double check, then we're gonna use this. Okay, so we are getting the movie by id and movie retrieved successfully. Okay, so we have to just call this API. Okay, so here itself in this page I'm just going to call this API. So for that it's very simple. You're just going to fetch data. Okay, you're just going to fetch data. It's a get method, and credentials include is important because cookies are required in almost all APIs. Okay, and we are just passing the movie ID and it's called from here. Okay, this is the API, right? So now we are simply saying whatever data you get, just set it to the movie hook. Okay, just set it to the movie hook. That's it. Okay, so we are just setting the data to the movie hook. Similarly, you are going to get the theaters. Okay, so for getting the theater, it's a bit complicated logic. So for getting the theater, we actually need to create an API logic here. Okay, so let's come back to movie.js, and here right now you can see we had an API named as screens by city. Okay, so we are going to change a few things here in the backend, then we would come back to the front end. So first of all, I'll just leave this API as it is. We are going to create a new API which is actually getting the data by city, date, and movie ID. Okay, we actually want to get the theaters by three things. First of all, what's the city? Okay, according to the city, theaters are decided. You'll get the theaters according to that. Now, which theater is showing that selected movie on your selected date? Okay, for example, today that movie is not available, but tomorrow that movie might be available for the theater. Okay, so according to that you have to get the data. So you're just going to call again the get method inside router with this name. So I'm simply saying that this is my API name. Okay, I was working on tic-tac-toe with your help. Thanks for that. uh Thanks Suam for watching that, and glad someone actually watched it after so long. It actually was posted up very long ago. So if you like that video, then that's really great. Please give me some guide for freelancing, please. So for freelancing, I would recommend first of all just grow your network. And if you are not getting enough responses from LinkedIn, first of all, LinkedIn profile must be top notch. Okay, first thing. But still, if you're not getting responses, so what you can do is you can simply search for freelancing on LinkedIn search. Okay, there you would find, for example, you search for React.js freelancing on LinkedIn. Okay, that's how I got things. Okay, I didn't do any special. If you go to websites like Upwork or any other website, they're already having pro people, okay, professional people which are way more better than you in freelancing. Okay, much more better than me in freelancing. So what I did was I simply went on LinkedIn, and first of all I kept my profile updated when I was looking for something. Okay, right now I'm not active there. So update your profile and just search for key terms like React.js freelance or React Native freelance or MERN stack freelance in the search bar. According to that, you would get posts of different people. Okay, so post would be like, I need a freelancer, I want to build an e-commerce platform. Some people might be sharing posts like that. So definitely guys, you would get a lot of posts from there because you are just mentioning whatever work you know, and according to that you would get post according to that. So you would just comment on the post, or you can follow that person and you can message that person. So that's how you can get freelance from LinkedIn. Or else what you can do is, in your own cities there are incubation centers. Okay, just search for incubation centers. And personally, where I live, I have an incubation center. I don't know about other cities. So what you can do is you can search for incubation centers near you where all the startups are working. So these startup guys are actually looking for developers. Obviously, if you have an idea, you're not always that guy who is some technical person. Okay, so obviously some people are looking for technical guy for their startups. So for that you can also charge some freelance work. So that's also a great idea. These are two methods which I think is always helpful for beginners. I will definitely follow you from now onwards. Thanks, that video really helped me gain interest and start making project with JS. Great, Shubham. Do try to go with other JS projects also. Then you can start with the MERN stack projects. Okay. So guys, now let's continue. So here we are just taking parameters in the backend. We are taking parameters city. From the front end, we would be sending city, date, and the movie ID. Okay, these three things we would be sending from front end. Okay, you can take these things in the body also. It's just that I just wanted to try something else so that you know that this is also a method for getting data. Okay, you can take these data in the body also. You can take this data into query also, parameters also. There are different methods for getting data. Okay, so whatever method you prefer, you can definitely use that. But I think this is also fine. You can see that these are the data, and I would just I would just call them as a parameter. So let's call this. Okay, so we have simply said that, first of all, let's say this is try catch, right? And this is going to be a bit complicated, guys, so please, I would recommend, if you haven't watched these videos, previous videos, please watch those, because we have built the complete logic from scratch. Okay, the complete logic, and trust me, बहुत मेहनत लगी उसमें. So एक like कर देना वीडियो को. Okay, so I will say, first of all, if there is an error, next, that means my error handler would be called, in the middle which we have defined our error handler. Now, in the try part, I would simply say that we are extracting what city, data, a date, and movie ID from params. Okay, so I would just simply say, wherever you are using city, just convert it into lowercase, because there might be confusion in the, like, computer doesn't understand a lot of things. Okay, so just try to use lowercase whenever you are making comparisons, and also try to convert all date, wherever you are sending date, just convert it into a date object by using new date, and inside that you just provide the date. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do here. So this is also a great method. Just call things in whatever way you like. Later on, just convert it. Right now, we are going to convert this date into a normal date object, JavaScript object. Okay, so that comparison is easy. And this is for lowercase. So whatever city you are looking for, always be converted into lowercase, and then things work fine. Okay, so here I would just simply say that find the screen by that city. Okay, so we have simply created a lot of screens for city. Okay, we are simply saying a single screen might be having some city, right? So we have passed the city parameter. So we are simply saying that for a particular city, how many screens are there? So we are simply searching for all the screens for that particular city, right? So we have the screens. Now after this, I would simply say that if screen is not here, just show the error. Hi Sagar. Then I would say that let's create a first of all temporary array. Inside that, what I'm gonna show, I would just say Inside the screens, first of all, I'm continuously updating movie schedules. Okay, so today, for example, today is 4th October. In 4th October, I can have at 10 a.m. some movie, at 11 a.m. some movie, at 12 a.m. some movie, at 1 p.m. some movie. So I can have multiple schedules. Similarly, for the next day also, I can have multiple schedules. So what I'm gonna say is, if I want to get today's data, so first of all, my dates must match. Okay, so this I'm simply saying, inside the screen movie schedules, inside all the movie schedules available, look for these dates, this date which Frontend has sent. That means I want to get movie schedules for today, or for 5, for 5th, October, for 6th October, any date. So according to that, I'm going to compare my movie schedules. Okay, so I'll just say that screen.movieschedules.forEach. Actually, for each is not recommended, but still you can use, like if for each is not working, you can use a normal for loop. So I'm just saying, inside each screen, for example, right now you can have 10 screens for a city. For example, you have 10 screens for a city. Now each city would be having X number of movie schedules. Okay, so it's actually a double for loop. Okay, nested for loop. First of all, we are mapping all the cities. Now you have 10 cities, so this loop would run for 10 cities. Now inside that also, each screen has X number of schedules, so schedules was also run for X times. Okay, according to that. So I'll just say that. Now let's talk about the schedules. So screen dot movie schedules. Okay, movie schedules. Inside this, again, the for each loop. Inside this, again, we have the each schedule would be here. Okay, and here I'm just going to compare the dates. Okay, so schedule, I'm just going to compare the schedule of each schedule's date with my actual parameter date which I have provided from front end. Okay, so first of all, I'll just say that convert the show date from schedule to a normal object. Okay, for comparison of dates, always do this, because dates might be in different format. You need a single format to make comparisons. Okay, so always do that. So half of your problems would be solved when you are doing some date things in one stack. So half of your problems would be solved when you just convert it into the data object. Okay, so yeah, we have simply said, from front end whatever you are receiving, just convert it into data object. From database, whatever you are receiving, just convert it into a data object. Now comparison would be really easy. So I would simply say, I'm not worried about the time. This would also contain time fields. Okay, this would also contain time fields. I'm not worried about the time. I want to simply check that my day must match, my month must match, my year must match. Okay, that means I want to get data for today. I want to get data for today. I want to get all the schedules for today. So I don't need time. Okay, I would simply say all time would work. Okay, whatever time it is would work. So suppose for 10 a.m. is some movie, 11 a.m. some movie, 12 a.m. some movie, 1 p.m. some movie. So I would get all of them. Okay, for a single day. So I would simply say that if the day of this matches with my body date, similarly the month matches, similarly get full year matches. I'm not comparing time, I'm just comparing the day, month, full year. Okay, that means year. And also I'm just saying that that movie must also be there. For example, at 10 a.m. some movie X is scheduled, but at 11 a.m. some movie Y is scheduled. So why would I return movie Y? Okay, I'm only looking for movie X. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Also check for movie ID. So that's what we have in schedule. Also we have saved, whenever we creating the schedule, we have saved the movie ID, right? So now you can see that we are simply saying push the screen inside what this. Okay, so I'll just push my screen. So I'll just print this so that you know how it's working. Console, actually we would get this in front end anyways. Else after this, once you have everything, you just send this as a response. Okay, just send this as a response, so you would get all the screens according to the date, city and movie ID. Okay, that means current date you want some movie, so that's the logic. Okay, so this is for the API. Now guys, I think okay, everything is fine. So let's go to screens. I think there is some change here. Okay, no, everything is fine. Inside movie schedules, you can see movie schedules actually look like this. Okay, so let me just check the schema of movie schedule. Also there might be some changes which I have done. Actually forget things, so there are some minor changes which I have done, so sorry for that. I forgot that what the exact changes which I have done. Okay, so we have the screen schema. Inside this we have not we have movie schedules. Okay, inside the movie schedules we have movie ID. Okay, fine. And guys, one more thing here, you can see we are just mentioning not available seats as normal strings, but I would just change some logic. I would simply say instead of normal string, we are just going to store data in this format. Okay, so this is going to be important. So that's how you're going to identify seat. So instead of a normal strings, we are going to add a few more fields to a seat. Okay, that means what's the row of that seat, what's the column of that seat, what's the seat ID, what's the price. Okay, these are the things, and the rest everything is same. Okay, so now let's come back here and now let's talk about the response. Okay, so you can see we are getting the movie, right? We are getting the movie and we are printing the movie for that day. Okay, but first of all we have to get the day. What's the day? What's the day? We have to get the day. So we would simply say, actually this is not the API, this is the API. Inside this I'm going to call the API. Which API? This API. Okay, this API, we're going to call this API inside this function. Okay, that means we want to get the theater by date, city and movie ID, right? So let's call that, and for that it's actually inside which page? बहुत सारे पेज हो गए यार. Okay, so we are just going to call the date. Okay, so I got the date and I would just call the movie ID and I would just call the city. Okay, fine. So these are all the parameters. Now we are just going to call the API. So I would just simply say just call this API and pass these values, city, date and movie ID. Okay, that's how you were sending parameters to this API. Now we're just extracting, we're just calling it, and just don't forget to add credentials. Okay, don't forget to add it because we are using cookies in almost all APIs. Now if everything is fine, you're just going to say that this is the response, and if data is okay then set it, else just show the error. You can show any kind of error and just do whatever you want with the errors. Okay, so I'll just say that catch, हाँ भाई आजा, catch ERR. Guys, just a minute, I think my copilot is also not working. Anyways, okay, so yeah, what we were doing is, you can see now we're getting the theaters. Okay, let me just check what's the exact date. I would also print the date because I'm not really sure what's by default it's taking as a date. I think we have to fix the date also, which is coming from horizontal picker. So you can see guys, right now the problem here is, okay, one more thing, if you don't have the movie you don't show the movie, right? If you don't have the movie you don't show the movie. So for that I would just simply say, if you don't have the movie inside this page, which is inside buy tickets, I'm just going to say that if you don't have the movie don't show anything. Okay, first of all, so I'll just say, okay, actually empty bracket, empty tags. Inside this I'm just going to say that if you don't have the movie then don't show anything. Okay, if you have the movie then only show everything. Okay, first of all this is it. Now inside this we have to fix the title and genre. So I'll just say, instead of this I'm going to show the title. These were the fields, actual fields coming from the movie API. Okay, after that guys, I'm going to say that if there is any change in the selected day, okay, instead of this I'm just directly call the set selected date. That means I'm just going to select the date, whatever date you have selected. I've just add the date to my hook. Okay, that means I've just added this date to my hook. Whenever there is a change in the hook, you can see automatically get theaters is called. Okay, so whenever you change the date according to that date, you will automatically get the theater. Okay, hi, I want to learn MERN stack. Which playlist of yours should I start following? uh okay, just a minute. Okay, let me just visit the channel. Okay, I'll just show you where's the exact playlist. And this is obviously a free playlist, so you can first of all go to Geeks for Geeks development channel. Okay, so here you can go to the playlist, and first of all, for the projects, only for the projects, 3x dev is here. Okay, so if you want to follow Monstack project, this is here. For complete backend, 15 days of backend is here. Okay, and for React.js, I haven't taught React.js myself, but you can see we actually have a few React.js playlists here. Okay, so you can check out any one you like. Okay, so there are some React.js playlists, you can check out these. Now after that, you just need to know some overview of React.js, then what are the exact hooks which you have in React.js. Just know the all the hooks which are important in React.js. So they are I'm sure they are available in all of these videos, so you can check out these playlists. After that, once you have completed the theory part, you can continue with the project parts. Okay, I hope I I answered it correctly. Okay, so now let's continue. And we are just saying that movie.screens.map. Okay, right now we don't have any screens, so I'm just going to comment this out. Let's first of all get the screens. Okay, right now I'm just saying whatever data I have selected, according to that, this hook would be called, get theaters function is called. Okay, and what else? You can see that the selected date would be what? So selected date would be, again, by default, whatever is the date, I want to set that. So I would just say that we created a hook, right? Whatever the default value of that hook is, I would just show that. Okay, so you can see, simply initially I've simply said whatever is the current date, I'm showing that. So whatever is the current date would be selected by default. Okay, that's it. And whatever you want to make the changes in the date picker, you can definitely make it. Now first of all, guys, you can see I would just refresh first of all. So you can see fourth is selected. If I click on 5, you can see 5 is selected. And once I click on this, you can see screens are retrieved according to that. If I click on 6, you can see array has 0 elements. Okay, so now let's try to add some details to the 6th. Okay, let's try to add some details to the 6th. So if I create a schedule, right now I'll just say I'm just picking only one city because it's easier. Okay, and guys, one more thing, when you're saving the data, when you're creating a movie schedule, I would always do one thing. Just when you're creating a movie schedule, I think, okay, add movie schedule to screen. Here, do one more thing. I think we were also adding the show date. Okay, yep, actually we didn't need the city. Okay, anyways, everything is fine. Everything is fine. We didn't need the city. Okay, so yeah, here if I simply click on search, you can see I'm getting all the malls, all the screens according to that city. So if I select on this PVR, okay, after that you can see I can say I'll select any movie. So right now let's select only this movie. After that I'm just going to say what's the time, so you can pick any time you want. Okay, after that you're just going to select any date. So I'm just going to say that, for example, I want to get data for 6. Okay, that means I want to book a movie for 6th. So if I click on save, you can see, okay, actually I have to log in again, the token has been expired. So yeah, you can actually add few more things like check login for admin, different APIs. Okay, some basic APIs. So let's log in with the admin. So admin 1 and sign in. And now let's come back. So here itself, add schedule. So city would be whatever city you have. According to that, you would get your malls screens. Okay, after that, select this. What's the time? So I'll just select this time. Okay, and what's the date? So date is, for example, this 6th. And if I click on save, can see schedule has been created successfully. Okay, guys, so now first of all, let me just reload. So you can see for 4th, you can see we are receiving 3 arrays. Okay, for 6th, you can see we are now receiving one array, that means one item in the array. Okay, so you can see we just now created this data. You can see now we are getting this data. Okay, so I hope you now you know that how things are working here. Now we're going to show details inside this. Okay, so you can see everything is here, schedule is here for that specific mall. You can see this is showing the screen. For that specific screen, you have created that specific schedule for the day. Similarly, you'll get all the schedules for that specific day. Okay, so all together it's inside a single screen. Okay, a single screen, for example, some screen name is A. Okay, so A screen for a particular day might be showing a movie multiple times. So that's what I have said. Okay, just simply inside the screen, inside this screen, multiple schedules of a single movie can also be there. Okay, so that's what I have said. Okay, so that's fine. And you can add a few more things, like for example, if I just change the time. Okay, and everything is fine. Now let's suppose, for example, yes, I'll just try to save again. So you can see again I have saved. Now let's try to refetch things. So you can see, guys, now I have array with 2 items. Okay, so now everything is fine. You can see we have array of 2 items. So you can see first item and second item. So you can see everything is here and it's working properly. Now we have to show this data. Okay, according to the date we are getting the data. Now we are going to show the data. Okay, so it's very easy to show the data. You have just set the data here. Okay, you have just set the data here, and we actually don't need this. Now remove this. You have actually set the data inside what? Theater. So you need to just show the theaters. Okay, so now let's come back. Instead of this, I want to show my theaters. Okay, so I'll just say that instead of this, I'll just remove this and I'll rewrite things. Okay, so I'm going to show my theaters. If I have theaters, then only I'm going to show the theaters. Okay, instead of this, if you don't have the theaters, you can simply say that uh, just create the same division. For example, just create the same division, or you can create some separate styles if theaters are not available for that day. So you can actually show some kind of text, like for example here I'm just going to say no shows available, okay, like this. So you can format this and you can show it in a better way. Right now this is the logic. Okay, similarly we have, suppose we have the screens, for example in 6th, on 6th October we have two shows, okay, on a single screen. That means we are not going to show two shows, we're just going to show the single screen. If suppose the show was on multiple screens, okay, for example let's add some shows. So here you can see this was blue screen. So for example if I ask for a red screen for the same movie, for the same, for example I'll just change the time, but for the same date I'm adding another show but for different screen. Okay, so if I click on this, you can see again it's added. Now again if I click on 6th, you can see I'm now getting array of 3 items. Okay, array of 3 items. So if I click on this, you can see I'm getting array of 3 items. Okay, so here you can see I'm getting the data accordingly. Okay, so it's up to you, you want to show a multiple a single screen multiple times, or any way you can do it. Okay, but right now I think let's show it, okay, let's show this. So now I'll simply show the data. I think we are getting 3 data, so we'll just show this directly. Okay, so we'll just simply say that whatever theater screen you have, we are going to show that theater screen. So we are going to map it. Okay, don't worry about these underlines, actually they come from TypeScript and you just need to define type everywhere. Okay, so if you don't know what to define, you can simply write what, you can simply write any. Okay, so if you write any, that means any would work just like a normal JavaScript. Okay, so that's a very basic trick, but you must always write the proper type. Okay, for example what's the type of screen, so you have to create a proper type. For example I would take you to the type page. Okay, so we have done this previously, so I would just give you an example. So you can see we have created types here. Okay, similarly in initial part of video we have created this, so you can check out that. Similarly you are going to create different types according to the schema of the screen, according to the schema of seats, anything you want you can create accordingly. Okay, so now let's come back. Right now I'm just going to leave it as it is because this is just a warning, but if you want to remove these lines you can simply pass any, just to avoid this, but that's not recommended in TypeScript. You have to define the proper types here. So here we have the theaters. Okay, we have three screens, okay, so we are just going to show the 3 screens. So guys, first of all I'm just gonna extract my screen ID from the each screen. Okay, from each screen I'm going to extract the screen ID so that I can send it to the next page as a parameter. Okay, I can't send this as a parameter directly. Okay, I have to create it in a variable. Okay, this dot would actually make some issues. Okay, that's why I've created a variable here, and this is what I'm going to send to the next page. Okay, so the rest everything is same. That's what we did in the same UI. So we are simply going to say whatever is the screen, whatever is the location, and whatever is the button. So when you click on this button, I'm simply going to say redirect to which route. So current route. After this just add the screen ID and what's the current date. So question mark, after this what's the current date. Okay, so we are just going to get these things in the next page. Okay, so now let's talk about this, how does it look. So right now you can see I am getting the screens which I have for the specific day. So if I go for 6th, you can see we have red, blue, blue. We are seeing blue 2 times because of what? Because of actually we have added 2 shows for the same screen for different times. Okay, that's why it's like this. So you can show the times also if you want, or what else can you do is you can simply remove anyone. You can make filters. If there are 2 screens with same name location, you can remove one. Okay, if you want, but right now I'm just going to let it be. Okay, so now if I click on select, okay, if I click on select, so you can see guys it's taking me to which page? The same page. That means now I'm having what, this was what, this was the movie ID, right? This was the movie ID. This is what, this is my screen ID. Okay, this is what, this is my date. So you can see I've set all the parameters in the URL. Okay, so you can follow different approach also, but this is also fine. So you can see I'm sending all details into my URL, and in the next page I'm gonna get this. That means in this page I'm gonna get these IDs. According to these IDs I'm gonna get the seats, I'm gonna get the prices, I'm gonna get the timings, and I'm gonna book seats later on. Okay, so for booking seats we have the last button here, so we have to complete this page. So let's finish this. Okay, so okay, fine. So let me just reload. Okay, fine. So if I go back, let me just go back, and then if I again select a seat, so you can see now we're in this page. So in this page, that means inside buy tickets, you can see we have given this folder name as screen. So guys, instead of this screen, actually I'm going to give it some other name. Let me just first of all close it. Okay, then I'm simply going to give it a name as screen ID. Okay, so I'm closing it because VS Code won't do things automatically, so I think I might need to do it this way. Okay, so now you can see, yes, screen ID update imports. I'm not really sure what's the exact imports, but yes, screen ID, right? Screen ID. Instead of screen name, you are just sending the screen ID. Yes, you are sending the screen ID. Okay, that's what we did. Okay, so current route, that is inside byte, the byte tickets, you are inside the byte tickets. Current route. After this, I've simply specified my screen ID. That means automatically I would be gone to this dynamic route, and as a parameter, okay, this is not for the route, this is just a parameter which you provide into the URL. Okay, this is for the route. Okay, don't get confused by this question mark. This is just some extra parameters which you are sending to the same route. Okay, so now let's talk about this. You have the screen ID. Inside this we have this page, we have this page.tsx. Okay, so right now we were showing temporary data, we are going to show the real data. So we were showing the movie, we are generating the routes, and actually I'll just remove everything and I'll just rewrite everything so that confusion is avoided. Okay, but yeah, you can copy paste it somewhere else, then you can rewrite the things later on by referring. Okay, so I'm gonna rewrite these things which we have already written. Okay, come back, and now here first of all we were sending some parameters from previous page, so we have to get those parameters by simply saying that we have the use path name, use params, and use search params. Okay, these three are actually available in Next.js. You just need to import these from next navigation. Okay, so this would actually give you, use params would give you the path, URL path. Okay, that means screen ID, exact screen ID, and this would give you the date. Okay, that means params, search params. Okay, this would give you the date. Okay, so whatever you pass after question mark, you can actually get it by use search params. That's it. So now let's get these sort. Simply say from the search params, just get the date. Okay, that means date value. Okay, whatever it is, you can see you were sending this as a variable name date. Okay, whatever is the value, so we are just getting it, so we are just saying that whatever is the date, just give me. Okay, similarly you're going to have the movie ID, screen ID, and the city name from the params. Okay, that's what we already had this. Okay, we just forwarded more details. Okay, previously this path name already had the city name and the movie ID. We added one more thing, that is the screen ID, and forwarded it to this route. Okay, I hope you understood the route part. And now we are here, we have everything. You can actually print these, so I would just simply print these, and I would also print the date. Let me just check if we are getting things. So guys, if I go here, I actually have to reload, command shift T. Okay, so you can see I got the old route. So right now you don't see anything, but if I inspect console, so you can see I'm getting what, I'm getting the movie ID, city, and this is I think the screen ID, and this is what, this is the date. So you can see I'm getting everything here. Okay, I'm getting everything here. Okay, so everything is fine here. I'm getting these according to these ID, according to these fields, I'm going to get the data. So initially I would just say that whatever is my screen will be stored inside this hook. Whatever is the selected time, preferred selected time according for the movie. For example, for the same screen we have two different times for the same movie. For example, 3 p.m. we are showing some movie, and the same movie is shown at 6 p.m. so we are going to show that both the times, since we are in the same screen, we are going to show both the times. Okay, whatever user prefers would be selected, right? Just like cinema hall application, it's exactly same. You can take reference from there also, you would understand the logic. Okay, so now we have the get schedules function, which would actually give you the schedules. Okay, whatever are the schedules. And one more thing which we would have after this is get the movie. Okay, so I'll just get the movie also, whatever is the movie. So for that guys, again we are going to call the get movie function, which we already used previously. Okay, so get movie function. Now after this, when everything is fine, I would simply say whenever this page loads, I want to call this function. So I would simply say whenever this page loads, I want to call this function. Okay, and one more thing, we are going to have selected seats. So whatever seats the user selects temporarily just before the payment would be stored here. Okay, so that they would be highlighted with pink or whatever color you have. Okay, so one more thing is we already had a function named as select deselect seat. Okay, so this would allow us to deselect the seat if it's already selected, or select the seat if it wasn't selected. Okay, so this was the function which we already created, just some modifications are here. And what else, we also had one more component. I would say we created a component here itself. So we have simply created a component itself, and we're going to pass value inside this. That means this would be our seat layout. Okay, so whatever seat layout come from backend, we're going to show it here. Okay, so seat layout would be shown here, right? So that's it, guys. So these are all the functions. Now we're going to add values inside this one by one. Okay. Hmm. Right. So here first let's talk about get schedules. So for this, actually, we need to go to the movie backend. Okay, movie file of the backend. Here we had a lot APIs. We actually need one API that is scheduled by movie. Okay, so we actually need one API that is scheduled by movie. It's actually similar to this. It's actually similar to this, but I'm simply saying according to the screen ID, date, and movie ID, just give me all the schedules. Okay, I'm just saying that I don't want any specific thing right now. I'm just going to say, actually, I think it's a bit similar to the previous one. Okay, so here I'm just saying I'm getting the schedule. Now I'm not getting the screens. Okay, I just want the schedule of that specific screen. Okay, so if there is some specific screen, it might have 4 or 5 schedules. But for a specific movie, suppose it has 3 schedules. And for that specific days, I'm talking about. Okay, so for that specific days, that screen is having 5 schedules, but for a specific movie, it's having 3 schedules. Okay, that means there might be some other movies also, but for the specific movie, it has 3 schedules. So we are going to just show the 3 schedules. We're just going to return the 3 schedules. That's what we are gonna say here. So first of all, I'm gonna find the parameters. I'm gonna get the parameters from the URL. Okay, screen ID, date, and movie ID. And here itself, I'm gonna find the screen by screen ID. Now if everything is fine, then this part would be skipped, else error would be thrown. So I'm just gonna say that from screen we have movie schedules, right? Movie schedules have all the schedules, right? So I'm gonna say that we have all the schedules. Just filter out those schedules which are not available for that specific date, as well as which are not for that specific movie ID. Okay, that means we are only left with current dates movie schedule as well as current movie ID's movie schedule. Okay, that means this is the thing which we want. So as a response, first of all, we are going to convert the date into the objects for comparison. Now this is very important. Just do this everywhere. If I missed somewhere out, please do this everywhere. Wherever you are saving things or getting things, just do this everywhere so that some rhythm is maintained for the date part. Okay, because in date, most of the cases when I was a beginner, I struggled a lot with dates because in months tag. Okay, so I struggle a lot with dates, and it was all because I didn't convert it into this date object. Okay, sometimes if you're sending it from front end back end, the date format might be different. Sometimes it might be a string, it might be a different format. Okay, or it doesn't have some important values. Anything could happen, so just convert it into normal date of object, then do things. Okay, then do things. So I'm just gonna say that if your movie date, month, and year match, as well as the as well as the movie ID match, then that's the current schedules which we are talking about. That means for that specific day, that means our day must match, our month must match, our year must match. This is for the specific day. What is the movie I want to show? For example, I'm talking about Jawan movie. So for that specific day, we have 3 schedules for Jawan movie. So that's what I want to show. Okay, so I'm just going to say if the day, month, year match, okay, and also the movie ID match, then simply show that as a response. Okay, so now everything is fine. And if we don't have anything, we are simply going to return false. Okay, simply return false. Okay, so after this, if we got the movie schedules, we are just going to show the movie schedules. Okay, along with the screen also, I'm also going to send the specific screen which we are talking about as a response, along with the movie schedules for that specific date. Okay, so this is what we have here. Now we have sent this as a response. Fine. Okay, so now let's come back to the front end. And okay, this was the front end page. Okay, this was the front end page which we were working on. Let's talk about get schedules. So it's actually same as the previous one. It's actually same as the previous one. Instead of this, we are providing it in this way. So we are just providing screen ID, date, and movie ID in this API which we created just now. Include the credentials because it's important. Now you have the credentials, you have everything. If data is successful, you're just going to say first of all, your default selected time would be the 0th movie schedule. For example, there are three schedules. I'm just going to say at least there could be any schedule pre-selected. Okay, so I would just say whatever is the first object in the 4 5 schedules, just select that by default. Okay, so in the timing, I would just select the first object by default. Okay, that's for the time. Okay, so by default some time is selected, right? So I'm just saying whatever is the first object, just select that. Okay, from the movie schedules you can actually print this. I'll just show you how it looks. And one more thing, I've just set the screen also. Okay, so let's see how it actually looks. Let me just show you how this data looks. And we are actually calling this function, right? So if I just reload, and you can see I'm getting the screen and movie schedules for the date first of all. So you can see I'm getting the screen. So I'm just going to say inside the screen, I'm just passing this complete object. I'm passing this complete object. Don't get confused. I'm not only passing the screen, I'm passing this complete object. That means screen hook which we have here has the complete data. And what's the selected time? I'm just going to say that inside, just go inside the movie schedules. Okay, just go inside the movie schedules and just pick the 0th object and set it as the default initial time selected. Okay, later on the user can pick some other time also. For example, the second one, user can choose the second one also, right? So that's what the logic says here. But right now set screen has everything. Okay, and default time is the 0th object of movie schedules. Fine, this is fine. Now let's come back here. After this, we want to simply get the movie. So for get movie, we actually had an API to get movie by ID. Same API, we're gonna use it again. So I'm just gonna copy paste from previous pages, and we created this previously. Okay, in the previous page we created this. So we simply have the movie by movie ID, and we're just going to set that movie into the movie hook. Okay, that's it. So we are simply calling the data. Now we have both of these things. So right now guys, you can see we are also having the uh, for we are also having the screen, that is schedules, as well as we are having the movie. So we are having both things. Okay, we are having both things. And right now you can see it's saying unauthorized, so you have to log in again. So actually you can increase the time for authentication. So for example, if you want to increase the time to uh, 50 minutes or 60 minutes, you can definitely do it. I think we have already done it anyways. So you can change the token limit size. We are already expiring it at 60 minutes, I think. So you can increase that time also. So token would expire in 1 day or 2 day, whatever you want. So let's talk about again about this blog page, sorry, movie page, book ticket, and this is the theater, for example. And you can see we are having both these things. Okay, we are having both these things. Now let's show these things into our page. Okay, so from this from this generated layout, first of all, we are going to say according to the time selected, we are going to show the seat layout. For example, at 10 a.m. there is some seat layout, but some XYZ seats are booked for 10 a.m. But for 11 a.m. some other seats might be booked. Okay, so the seat layout would be same, but the booked seats would be different for different time. So for that, first of all, I'm gonna say find that specific index which we are talking about. That means find that specific time which we are talking about. So you're just going to say that screen dot movie schedules for date. Okay, movie schedules for date. And from this we are going to find that specific time which is selected. Okay, that means we are just going to compare the movie schedule date with what selected time, with what selected time. So you can see initially you're setting it as 0. That means you're going to show seat layout for the 0th time. Okay, I hope you understand the logic. So yeah, find index. Okay, I hope it works. Find index, and inside this guys, whatever is the time, I'm just gonna compare that time with t dot show time. Okay, and for time it's fine. You don't need to make any conversions. For date you have to convert it into date object. Okay, so I'll just compare it with the selected time dot show time. Okay, so if both of these match, that means that specific index is selected. So initially it would return 0. You can actually print this. So for printing this, what you can do is you can actually console log X, and okay, and what you have to do is one more thing, we are going to use this into our page sometime. Okay, so let's show it directly. Actually return this, return an empty object. Okay, so for example, we are going to show the layout. So for showing the layout, I'm just going to say that here somewhere layout is shown. Okay, so let's test this. What is this returning? So if I refresh this, uh guys, you can see that the problem is cannot read properties of null value. Okay, I think it's not able to get the things from here. Why it's not above error? Because no found error. Okay, cannot read. Okay, let's retry. I think this is most probably happening because of screen. Okay, most probably happening because of screen. If screen is not here, then it's not able to find the layout. So I'm just going to say that if screen is there, then from the screen get the layout. Screen is initially null. Okay, so if screen is there, then only call the layout. Okay, so now I think it must work. So you can see I'm getting 0. If screen is there, then only I'm getting the layout. Okay, so you can see I'm getting 0 because by default 0 time is selected. For example, if I say by default time 1 is selected, okay, that means we had two objects. So if I say by default 1 time is selected, so it's already pointing to first index. Okay, that means we are going to show layout according to the first index. Okay, but let's make it 0 initially, and we're going to show layout according to which index? With the 0th index. Okay, whatever index is selected. Okay, so this would be called again and again whenever time changes. Okay, whenever time changes, we're gonna call this again and again. Okay, so right now we have this. We are gonna simply say that one more thing, guys, we are also going to get not available seats. Not available seats, actually you have the movie schedules. Okay, let me just show you here. You can see you have movie schedules, right? You have movie schedules, but they only have the few things, like for example not selected seats and show date, show time. Where is the seat layout? Seat layout is actually available inside the screen. Seat layout would never change. Okay, so why to show it for each schedule? So I've already shown it inside the screen. Okay, so I hope now you understand why we are saving the screen also. So let's come back to movie schedule for date. From here I'm just going to see what are the not available seats. For example, if there might be some already, there might be some already seats. You can see we have already have some seats. I was playing around and we already had some seats. I was just playing around when I was working on this session, like yesterday. Actually not yesterday, a few hours ago, just before the session, I was actually playing around. So right now you can see we have some not selected seats. Actually I would just pick some other schedule so that it's fresh for us. So for 6th, okay, now you won't see any available seats. Okay, that means nothing is booked. So you can see again we are getting this. Okay, now let's come back to this movie schedules for date. Okay, you can see we have this specific 0 schedule for that specific screen. That means we only had one schedule for now. So you can see we have not available seats. Okay, I think we have, okay, uh we have red cinema. Okay, we have red cinema and blue cinema. For this we have, okay, let's say that for blue cinema there were two schedules. Okay, so let's pick any one. So now you can see we are getting the screen. Okay, we are getting the screen. You can see in the screen we have in the movie schedules, you can see we have two schedules. In both of the schedules you can see not available seats is now empty. So here you're going to add your not available seats. For example, I have booked a seat. Okay, I have booked a seat. If I have booked a seat, then that seat would be added into the not available seats array. So if someone else is trying to book the same seat, they would get an error, or that seat would be disabled. Okay, that's what we have done here. Okay, Shubham Kumar, thanks bro for this project. Array, it's okay. Right, so come back here. You are going to extract not available seats. Not available available seats. Okay, equals screen. So from screen we want to find that specific movie schedules for data. And which index we are talking about? We are talking about the X index. From that specific object, just extract the array. Just extract the array. So now we have the not available seats for that specific time. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, we have the not available seats. I'm just building it slowly so that confusion is avoided. Okay, because this part was really confusing and it took me a lot of effort to actually build this layout by my own logic, because I didn't find this anywhere. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that after this we have a division by simply creating a division, and here we're just going to show a layout, and this was the exact layout which we have already created previously. So I'm just gonna copy paste again the previous code which we have already written. So I'll just say, first of all, just map the screen layout. So you can see now we are just mapping the layout. Where is the layout? Okay, so here guys, you can see we were actually printing the screen also, so you would see the screen. So now we extracted the not available seats from here, but layout is common. So for all the schedules, layout is common, right? Seats won't change. Okay, cinema hall won't change. Okay, seats won't, nobody would pick the seats would be same. So that's what I've said. Inside the screen we have the seats layout. Okay, that's what we have sent. So you can see inside this we have the platinum, gold, silver. So you can see platinum has this price, and inside this we had row. Each row had some like inside this rows array there were some rows. Each row has two columns. Okay, so now it gets complicated. Each column, you can see now it has two columns, so you can see each column is now having some number of seats. Okay, so you have to go into the depth. Okay, so you can study more about this. You can get the source code, and I would also share this. Actually, you can just get this from my source code. Okay, so you would know how to get this. Or I would do one thing, I would just copy this object. Okay, copy this object, and let me just create a file so that here you have everything. Okay, so inside the screen id, I'm just gonna create a file named as screen seat layout. Okay, seat layout dot txt. Fine. And yes, I think I've just pasted the layout so that if in future you wanna check what kind of layout is here, it's too long, so I can't just show it at once. But I've already explained it in previous video when we were creating the front end, so you can check out this layout. Okay, so this is the screen layout. Actually, I've copied the complete screen, so you can check out this completely. Okay, so this is the seats layout, and we are just going to show the seats into our page. Okay, into our page. Okay, so now come back here. So now our work is very easy. So we're just going to say we have the seed type, first of all, platinum, silver, gold. Okay, so platinum, silver, gold, right? We had three objects, platinum, silver, gold. Inside platinum, silver, gold, we have, for example, platinum. Inside platinum, we had multiple rows. Inside multiple rows, we had multiple columns. Inside multiple columns, we had multiple seats. Okay, so that's how things would go. Okay, so here we have said that first of all, let's create a division. Okay, let's create a division. And guys, I think I'm getting an issue here. Why you are getting an issue? Because I think we haven't closed it properly. Okay, so first is this bracket, then we have one more bracket. We have to add one more bracket. Okay, fine. So don't worry about these underscore like underline errors. You can actually add here type as any, because TypeScript needs a type, so you have to add the type everywhere. I'm just avoiding this for now because we have to finish the task first. Later on you can just add the type here, whatever type you want. Just like the types file, you can see I've already added sample types here just for explanation. Similarly, you can add the types for everything you want. Okay, so now we have the seed type. Inside seed type, first thing which we have is the seed type name, that is gold, silver, platinum. And what's the price? Okay, so here guys, right now if I just reload, you can see I'm getting platinum 500, gold 300, silver 150. Okay, I hope you got till now here. Okay, so you can refer this layout, and according to that you will reach here. I would provide the complete source code. Now you have the layout, you have the inside the layout you have the seed type name and seed type price. Now after this you want to show the rows. Okay, so for that we created a class previously with the name as seed rows. Okay, everything is same, I'm just repeating it so that format is understood by you all. Okay, so inside this I'm just going to map my rows. Okay, whatever rows are here, for example you have x number of rows, so x number of rows would be shown. Okay, so now you have the rows. Okay, now you have the rows. I'll just say that whatever are my rows would be each row. That means each row would be shown inside this division. Each row is having what? Each row is having some X columns. Okay, but each row also has a name. Okay, so I'm just going to say whatever is my name would be shown here. Below this, I'm going to show my columns. Okay, so let's see. So if I just reload now, so guys, you can see I'm getting the row name also. Okay, fine. Now we're going to show our columns. Okay, so columns is simply, I'm just going to say again, we are going to create a division for all the columns. Inside this, we are going to show each column. So I'll just say inside rows we have columns, right? Just remember that proper names must be given, separate names must be given so that confusion is avoided. So you can see from these rows we extracted row. From this row we extracted columns. Okay. So from columns we have extracted col. Okay. So that's how things work here. So close it and fine. So now inside this guys we want to show the each column. Okay, so each column has what? Each column has some seats. Okay, each column has some seats. So you can simply say each column is here. Now for showing the seat, again I'm just going to say that inside the column we have seats. So column dot seats dot map. Okay, now you just want to show the seats. Okay, so I'll just say for now I'm just going to show the seat value. Okay, whatever is the seat value, let's see are we getting the seat or not. So I'm just going to say that whatever is the seat index or whatever is the seat id, you can show the seat id instead. You can print the seat. Okay, actually here if you want to check anywhere you want to check the data, you can simply type console.log, and here if I type seat I would get all the seats. Okay, so let's check how it looks. So right now you can see it's like this. So now let me just check. Okay, so if I just reload, so guys you can see I'm getting all the seats. You can see I'm getting all the seats. So you can see all the numbers are actually available here. Now you just want to show it properly. You just want to show it properly, right? So for showing it properly, you're just going to say that if the not available seats has the current seat which you are talking about, that means that seat is already booked. That means that seat is already booked. So we're just going to say that seat is already booked. You're going to give it class seat unavailable. Okay, so here itself I'm just going to say instead of this now I'm just going to say if the not available seats have the this specific seat. Okay, that means that seat was already booked by someone else. Okay, that means that seat was already booked by someone else. You can't book this seat because that seat is already booked unless you are a VIP, but you can't book the seat now because this is already booked and it's already saved into a database as a booked seat for that specific time of that specific day for that specific movie. Okay, so we're just going to map by simply saying that if the row matches with what, the specific seat. Okay, inside yeah, yeah, you can see we are inside the column. You can actually see inside the row we have the column. Okay, inside the row name you can see first of all we are comparing the row name. Whatever is the row name, that means we are saying that is the seat of row H. Yes, the seat is of row H. What is the seat id? Suppose seat id is 3, is matching with seat id. Yes, seat is matching with this. What's the column? Suppose this is the second column, that means index of the column as 1. Okay, index would be 1. So you can see if all these three things are matching, that means I know that this was already booked by someone else, already purchased by someone else. Now I can't book this seat. So I'm simply going to say first of all that if this seat is already booked, just show this class and you can't click on it. Okay, you can't click on it, you can't select it. Okay, so now if everything is fine, if seat is not booked, then you are simply going to show a span which just has the seat. Okay, which just has the seat. Now you can see a layout is much better shown here, but the problem is you can see not available seat cannot read properties of undefined. Okay, I think I've given wrong name here. Not available seats. Okay, so not available seats. I think there is some naming issue here. Let me just check. Now it must be fine. not available seats dot find. Okay, I think cannot read properties of undefined. Okay, it's not defined here. Why it's not defined here? We have defined the not available seats here, and we are actually using the not available seats. Okay, so I'll just say that not available seats dot length greater than 0 and end. It's like this. Okay, so now I think it must work properly. Okay, actually the naming was incorrect here. The naming was incorrect. Now it would work properly. Okay, so now it would work properly, and here you're just saying that actually now I don't need this. Okay, now I don't need this. Everything is fine. Okay, actually the naming here was incorrect. Okay, so I fixed the naming. Now it's fine. Okay, so now here I'm simply saying whatever are the non-booked seats would be shown as normal, but whatever were the booked seats, that means previously booked, would be disabled. Okay, so disabled would be having this class, but non-booked seats would be like this. But in the non-book seats, there would be some seats selected by you, other seats won't be selected by you. Okay, that means whatever are the remaining seats out of non-book seats, there are some selected seats, there are non-selected seats. Okay, so if you have selected a seat, you want to highlight it by some color. Okay, so you would simply say, first of all, if you press on the seat, that means you are selecting the seat or deselecting the seat. So you're just saying that if you are clicking on any seat, that means you are selecting or deselecting any seat. Okay, so you're just saying that just pass it to the function set select deselect seat. Okay, I'm just passing the row, column, seat ID and price. Inside this function, I'm simply going to say if that seat was already selected by you, deselected. If that seat wasn't selected by you, selected. Okay, that's what we're gonna say. Okay, so this is the function, and here also I would simply say that whatever it is, first of all let's complete this function. Here we have to simply say if that seat is already selected, deselect it. If that seat is not selected, then select it. Okay, so I would simply say that first of all check that if that seat is already selected or not. So I'm simply saying that is selected if these three values are true. That means if inside the selected seats array, that means there might be some selected seats by you, already selected seats by you. Okay, not any other person, you, that means you can select or unselect it for that meantime. So if there is any seat with the same row, same column and same ID, that means you have already selected it. Now if you are clicking on it and you check that if it's already there, that means you want to deselect it. Okay, you just want to deselect it. So you just want to say that if it's not selected, just add it directly, else you just deselect that specific seat. Just deselect that specific seat, that's it. Okay, so now everything is fine. Now you are going to say that if that seat is selected, then you are going to highlight it with pink, else you're just going to say that make it normal. Okay, so here inside in the span, I'm just going to say that let's give it a class name. And here I am saying inside the selected seats array, if that specific seat is available, that means you have already selected that seat, just highlight that seat with pink. Else that seat is not selected, it's just available, you can select that later on. Okay, so right now guys, you can see it looks like this. I think I have to fix the layout also, so I'll just fix the layout as it is, and I won't explain everything here, just some basic layout changes. Okay, so now you would see that if I reload, can see actually, okay, anyways, okay, I think there is one more thing, that is you have to select the layout also. Okay, we have given this a class. Okay, and we are showing everything inside this selected seats page. Okay, yeah, we have to show a few more things also. Okay, so we are going to show what we are, first of all, getting the movie. Okay, so we are getting the movie title and screen name, everything from the movie. Okay, then after that we were getting what, we were getting the schedules of the date. Okay, that means whatever are the date. Okay, let me just rewrite this. Okay, it's confusing. Okay, anyways, let me just rewrite this. I'll just rewrite this so that now you know. So what happened is, right now we have the seat layout. Okay, so let's check the seat layout first of all. So if I just reload, first of all, you can see right now I don't have any selected seats. If I click on 6, 7, 8, so you can see I have these selected seats. If I click on it, it's not selected, so you can see automatically it would be on. Okay, let me just fix it. So if I click on 7, it's selected. If I unclick, you can see not selected, 6, 7, 8, and if I select this, if I select this, if I select this, you can see it selected like this. Okay, so I hope you understood this. Now let's talk about the other components. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna say that at the top we were already showing the movie title, genre, and stuff like that. So at the top I'm just simply saying, if I have the movie on the screen, just show the title, screen name, and genre. Okay, so at the top you are seeing the movie as well as the theater as well as the genre. Okay, fine. Now after this we want to show the time also. So here we're just going to say that again, if the screen is available, then we had this division. Inside this division we had the time container which would show me all the times. So where are the times? Times are actually available inside what? Inside my movie schedule by date. Okay, so what we did was inside the layout also, let me just show you the layout. Yes, this one. So you can see we were actually getting the movie specific time, that means specific time for that specific layout by this. So all the time is actually available inside this. So we are just going to map this to show all the times. Whatever time you click on, you're just going to set it to what? To your time wherever it is. Okay, you can see that my show time is where? Okay, selected time. Yes, this is it. Okay, so whatever time you select in your time part from here, whatever time you select from here would be changed. Okay, let me just explain this. Thanks bro for resolving query. Sorry, I was in my meeting. I wanted to know how to learn MERN stack. Should be my chronology, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, Node, Next. Yes, this should be your chronology, and you can actually learn React and Next.js together. You don't need to make them separate because almost everything is same, just TypeScript part is different. And I would say just follow the backend first or follow the front end first. Like, don't add Node.js in between. Like, you can complete React.js and Next.js first, and then go for Node.js. Then after that, do the complete one stack project together. Okay. You stopped using Copilot. Actually, Copilot is disabled right now. I use Copilot a lot, and it's a great tool. It would save a lot of time for me also, but for beginners it's not recommended. कोई crime नहीं है, but still for beginners it's not recommended. Okay, so we have shown the movie. Now we're going to show the time containers. So here from the screens we are going to map movie schedule by date, right? We are going to extract time out of it. Okay, we are just going to extract times out of it. Mm, brackets. Okay, so we're just going to say that from that specific, you can actually print this also. So I'll just print this for you. So you can simply print this, so you would know how this exactly looks. So, or else what you can do is you can actually visit this, right? So you can see we had the movie schedules. I'm just going to say that just map this array from this, from each object, just extract show time. That's what I've said. Okay, so come back here. So I'll go back here, and now I'll simply say I've extracted the object. Okay, so schedule, I'll just say that it's a schedule. That would be better. Okay. Thanks bro, I'm not understanding anything. I'm still gonna be here. अब मैं इसको अच्छी चीज समझूं या मैं अपना वो समझूं, बेइज्जती समझूं. Okay, anyways, this project I think you have joined from between, so it's a bit complicated project. Okay, so now I'm just going to say that whatever time you have selected, you have to show that time. Okay, so I'll just say that we have a h3 tag here. Okay, we have an h3 tag. From the schedule I want to just show the time. Okay, so I'll just say that from the schedule I'm just going to show the time. So I'll just say schedule dot time. Fine, let's see how it looks. So guys, right now you can see what we have done is we have simply said whatever are the times must show those times. Okay, so I think it's not showing the time. Let's retry. It's not showing the time. Why it's not showing the time? Because we are mapping it properly. Fine, we are mapping it properly, and we have to check if it's printing things or not. Okay, so let's do one more thing. I'll just say console.log schedule. Okay, Okay, schedule, okay, and give a comma so that it's fine. Okay, so we're just printing it to check if it's mapping it properly or not. Okay, let's come back here, and if I just inspect, maybe this is because of the top spacing. I think maybe this is because of the top spacing. Let's see. First of all, I think I have to remove this layout also because it's taking a lot space here. Okay, let me just fix the layout also. So inside this layout, we were printing a few things. So I'm just gonna remove this from here. What else? Everything is fine. Okay. And I'll also remove this from here. Okay. Just remove all the console logs so that your experience is better. Okay guys, so here we are saying each child in a list should have a proper key. Okay, anyways, here you can see we are printing that specific schedule. So you can see we are printing the schedule. Okay, it's actually show time. Okay, it's actually show time and we are only printing time. Okay, fine. Now it's fine. Okay, so now you would see that we are getting both of the times, both of the times. Now we are just going to say by default which time would be selected. Obviously, the first time, that is the 0th index, 2351. Okay. One quick thing, how do you understand or remember the code that you're writing without using the documentation? Does it come by practice or something else? Actually, I use a documentation also. It's not like I know everything, and I actually prepare for the session just before the sessions. Okay, so I have already everything written. It's not like, yeah, I'm writing along with you. I've already written everything, and what I do is whenever I'm preparing for these projects, I usually first of all try to build the logics in some rough whiteboard or wherever you like. Okay, you can build the logics. According to that, you can build your schema. According to that, you can build your backend, similarly your front end. Now, wherever you get stuck, you can take the help of ChatGPT or you can search about documentation. Okay, that's what I usually do. Okay, I won't lie about anything. Like you can use ChatGPT or you can check the documentation. You can use different libraries which are available. That's what everybody does. Okay. All right. So yes, now time is visible. Now I'm just gonna say whatever is the default selected time, just highlight that. If you click on this time, it would be highlighted. Okay. So in this H3, we had a style. Okay, we created a style named as time selected or not selected. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that if my selected time object has this ID of my schedule ID. Okay, it's I think I have given wrong spelling. CHE. Okay, right. So I'm just saying that my whatever is my schedule object, extract ID from it and compare it by selected time. Okay, so this was the 0th object. I'm comparing it with 0th object as well as the first object. So 0th object would be highlighted. So now you would see that this is already highlighted. Now if I say, if I click on this, I want to highlight this one. So if I say that whatever you click on, just set it as selected time. Okay, that's what you're going to say. So if I click on this, I'm just gonna say on click set selected time. Okay, and also erase the selected seats. Okay, and just pass the schedule here. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that set the selected time, whatever time you have clicked on, and set the selected seats. Once you change the time, make sure you have added. Okay, anyways, let's first of all check if it's working properly, then we are gonna continue. Okay, so let's see. So guys, right now if it looks like this, if I select on this time, so you can see this time is selected. If I select on this time is selected. So you can see it's working fine. It's working fine. And also now let's just remove this time part is also working fine. Okay, so you can remove this from here. All right, so at the end you can see everything is fine. Now what you want is whatever you have selected, whatever seats you have selected, you just want to show the total. And one more thing, you have to show some indicators also. Let me just show the indicators. So this was the time container. Similarly, guys, I would simply say we have some indicators. I would just say that these indicators simply look like this. Okay, so I'm simply saying that actually after this, I'm gonna show it after outside this. Okay, so I'm just going to say that there are some indicators. we already created these indicators. For seat available we had some box, for seat unavailable we had some box, seat selected we had some box. Okay, so I'm just simply showing this indicator the same style which we already created. Okay, so you can see right now it looks like this, but we have to add some css to it, I think. Okay, okay, we'll add some CSS to it. Right now, I think I haven't added the proper CSS. We'll check the CSS part. CSS is not different. Everything is same, just CSS is different. Okay, so I'm gonna paste my own CSS. You can add your own CSS. Okay, similarly, after this, we were showing the layout. After this, we are going to show the total button. Okay, so total button is easy. We have just created the total container. Okay, total container, and we're going to calculate the total from the selected seats. Okay, so we're just going to create a division for total. Inside this I would create a h2 tag for total, and I'm gonna calculate my total. I would simply say from the selected seats just extract the price and add it. Okay, so I'd just say that h3 selected seats would contain everything: row name, row, uh, column name, row name, and seat id. Okay, and the price. These all things are actually available here, so I would simply say just show the price. So I would calculate the price by simply saying from the selected seats dot reduce, and just write it. You can actually write AB instead, so that would be better. Okay, so I'm just going to add my things. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that whatever you have here, just add it with the next one. Okay, whatever the price you have. So previously you were starting with 0. Okay, you're starting with 0. That means initially everything is 0, but you're just saying a is 0. That means, okay, so you're starting with 0, you're adding the b price to it, so now a became b price. Okay, so similarly addition would happen, total price would be like this. Okay, so that's how you reduce. And now let's see how it looks. So okay, I think it's stopped working. Let me just restart. And after this total container, I'm gonna have one more button which is for booking. That is for book now. Okay, this is the book now button, and we're gonna create this button somewhere here. So I'll just say const handle booking, and this is again a function. So let's reload. And at the bottom you're getting total as 0. If I select 5, you can see 150 is here. Similarly, if I select 7, you can see 450 is here, 10 is here, and 6 is here. So you can see everything is fine here. Just some design issues, I think I've messed up somewhere anyways. But after this, you can see we have the book now button. Okay, so we have the book now button. If you click on book now, okay, what I'll do is, now everything is working, so I'll just paste my designs directly here. Okay, actually let's complete the handle booking also, then I'm gonna show you the exact designs. Okay, so in handle booking we have to call an API from movies. So you can see inside the movies we created the book ticket. Okay, so you can see book ticket API, and what it had show time, show date, movie ID, screen ID, seats, total price, payment type, payment ID. Okay, so we had all these, so we have to call this API for booking a ticket. So let's come back here, and in the screen ID we have to call this API, that is for booking. Okay, that is for booking. So it has a lot of things here, so I'm just gonna call it. And then after this we have method as post, content type application JSON. After this we have a body. So body actually has a lot things here, so I'm just gonna pass a stringify. First of all, json dot stringify. Inside this, let's say we have show time. Okay, we have to pass the show time, we have to pass the show date, seats, total price, and payment type and payment ID. Okay, these are all the things which actually that API needs. Okay, so now after this, invalid state readable string. Okay, anyways, you can just ignore next.js. Okay, for now. So you can see I'm just passing everything into this API. Okay, into this API, whatever is required. And at the end, you're just going to say whatever is the response. If response is successful, response okay is true. then you're just going to show a toast message that is booking is successful. Okay, booking is successful, just import toast from react toastify. Okay, that's it. So if booking is successful, you're just going to show it this way. Okay, so now for example, right now let me just try to book these two seats. Okay, I'm booking these two seats. If I click on book now, so I think I must get some error for now. So you can see movie schedule not found. Maybe this is because of 404. Okay, actually I think we have to fix the route also. So this is movie book ticket. Okay, book ticket, and inside movies we have book ticket. Okay, everything is fine. Let's just reload. So let's select these two, and what I would do is inside book ticket I'm gonna call this. Okay, so I'll just say console.log, and let's say we are going to just print the body whatever we are receiving from there. Okay, so request dot body, there is some issue in this API. Let's check. So now if I click on this, you can see movie schedule not found. This is the response. And let's see here. So you can go to the backend, and here you can see I'm getting things. You can see I'm getting the body. Okay, whatever body I have sent from there. But the problem is I'm not getting the movie schedule out of it. Why we are not getting the movie schedule out of it? Because we are facing the issue here. What we did was we actually compared the date like this. So instead of comparing date like this, I told you convert it into object, then compare. Okay, so we have to change one thing, that is convert it into object, then compare. So I'll just rewrite this. So instead of this, guys, I'll just remove this and we'll rewrite this the next line. So the problem actually happens here. So you can see we're getting error. That means the problem is happening here. So first of all, we'll just compare the dates. Okay, we'll just compare the dates. We're just converting the scheduled date and the normal date. Okay, we're just comparing the dates, and we are just saying that if schedule is there, then return true according to the date, month, year. Okay, if according to the date, month, year and movie ID, if schedule is there, then return true, else false. Okay, that means we are just finding that specific movie schedule. We are just extracting that specific movie schedule. Okay, if that movie schedule exists, then forward that movie schedule. Okay, so you can see after that we are trying to create a booking. Now in booking, guys, just go to booking. Actually you have to go to the booking schema. Okay, go to the booking schema, and here also we have some changes. So we had some seats, but this is not the layout has been changed. So the layout is now the new format which I'm going to tell you. So you can just add that format, that's it. So seats is actually of this format now. Okay, that's it. So that's what seats have now. So now after this, now let's try to test this API. I think now it must be working. And what else we did here is, after the new booking has been created, first of all what we did was we simply checked everything. Okay, we found that movie schedule, we added that specific movie schedule. You can see we found that and we added to the booking. Okay, so you can see we are adding user ID, show time, show date, movie ID, screen ID, seats, total price, payment ID, payment type. Okay, we are adding all these things. You can add more things also, like show time or anything you want. Okay, show time, you showed it, we have added this. So you can add more things, but I think these are all the details which are required for verifying a booking. Okay, so it must have at least these things: show time, show date, what's the movie, what's the theater, how many seats are there, like that. Okay, so now we have everything, how many seats have been booked. Okay, so you can see we have just saved it. After saving it, do one more thing. We are not going to pass the seat IDs, we are just going to pass all the seats directly. Okay, so instead of this, guys, do one more thing. Just before saving, instead of passing the seat IDs, just pass the seats directly. Okay, we are passing the complete seat object inside not available seats. Okay, just after this we are just saving it, and then just we are saving the booking. Okay, let me just check the not available seats inside the user also. So you can see we have, sorry, actually we go to the screen and send movie schedules. You can see we have not here also. You just change these things. Okay, so I've already changed it in the initial video. We just change it. So just change all these things if you haven't. Right, everything is fine. Now let's come back and call this API. So now let's go there, and now if I click on book now, So you can see booking is successful. That means you might also get some toast also. So booking is now successful. If I now reload, so you can see actually, okay, the problem is we are not getting the pre-booked seats. Okay. So for example, if I just inspect, let me just check what are the pre-booked seats. Okay, so you can see I'm getting the movie object, and this is fine. I'm getting one more object, that is movie schedule data, and the screen. So inside the screen, actually inside the movie schedule data, I must have some not available seats. So you can see I'm having the not available seats. Not available seats are actually here. But the problem is not available seats aren't being shown properly. Why are they not shown properly? Okay, so let's see what happened with the not available seats. You can see we are showing the not available seats. Okay, but the not available seats. Okay, okay. Actually, guys, we are not able to get the not available seats. Let me just try to print it. Console.log not available seats. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we are just printing the not available seats. You are getting the not available seats. Okay, these were already booked. Now the problem is we are mapping the not available seats here. Okay, we are mapping the not available seats here. Okay, let me just add some symbol here so that I know. Okay, so I'll just add plus plus. So if that seat is already booked, I might get something. Okay. Okay, I think this is only because of the logic. Okay, so let me just check the logic how it's actually working. So we are just comparing the row name of with the seat ID. Okay, and we are also comparing the column with the column index. Rest everything is fine. Okay, let me just paste it anyways directly. There are some basic changes here. Let me just paste it so that time is saved. Okay, fine. Now let's see. Okay, some layout is also fixed, and now you can see it's working fine. Okay, so there was some minor mistakes. You can see whatever seats you have already booked now would be highlighted like this. So for example, now if I select these 7, 8, 9, and you can see this is the total. Suppose if I select 4, 5, 6 also. Now let's try to book now. So if you book now, and after this your booking must be done successfully. I don't know why it's already showing me issues. Okay, anyways, you can see it's like this. I think the problem is with the toast container. Let me just check the toast is working properly or not. So for that you can simply go to layout, and yeah, here we haven't already added the toast, so we have to add the toast container. That's why toast wasn't working properly. Okay, so I forgot to add this in the front end. Just add it in the front end. So just go to this and just import toast container and toastify css. You would find this on internet. You can search for react toastify, you would get it css also. Okay, after that just paste the toast container. Now the toast would work properly. Okay, so guys, now what would happen is right now you can see these seats are already booked, so you can't book these seats. Suppose if I now book 2 3 4 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, now if I click on book now, you can see booking successful. Now after this I want to take the user to some page. So which page I want to take the user to? So right now you can see that the seat is booked. Okay, so you can see these seats are booked. Okay, so after this I would take the user to the payment page, and whatever page I've assumed that the payment is successful, that's why I made the booking. Okay, so if payment is successful, I made the booking. By booking is available in my user profile also. So let's create the user profile part also. This is the last part which we need, and then the video would end. Okay, so here itself inside the app, I'm gonna create a folder named as profile. Okay, named as profile. So once booking is done, I would take the user to profile page of the user. Okay, so inside the profile, let's create a file named as page.tsx. Okay, and just write it normally. And I'm gonna create a css file also named as profile page.tsx. Okay, this is the profile page, and this is the profile page. Okay, so now what we want is whenever the user clicks on the profile icon in navbar, first of all take the user to the profile page. Okay, so here itself I'm gonna say that this is the profile page, so profile. Okay, so now let's see what happens. So if I click on this, so you can see now the user has been taken to the profile page. Okay, so now let's build the profile page. So inside the profile page, what exactly do you need is there are some imports. Okay, so there are some imports here. Now after this you want to get two things here. We only have two things right now, the bookings and the user data. Okay, the bookings and the user data. So for that you have to create an API for get bookings. Okay, so let's go there, and for that you have this. Okay, so I would create an API here for getting the bookings. Okay, so in the user, what is saved in the bookings? The ID of the booking has been saved. So whenever you're making a booking here, you can see what actually is saved here. You can see uh, the ID of the booking is saved into the user object. That means not the complete booking object, the ID of it. That means whenever you are getting the user, you're not getting the complete bookings, you're just getting the ID. So I'll just create a separate API for getting the complete bookings. Okay, so let's say we are going to create that API here, and we'll just say to get the bookings, just a final API. Let's name it as get bookings, right? Inside this, guys, I would say that again try catch block. Now inside this, if catch is having issues, go to handler. Else, inside this I'm just gonna find that user by the user ID which we receive from auth token. Okay, now after this, if user doesn't exist, just show the error. But if user exists, that means it has bookings, user has bookings, but the bookings are in the form of ID. That means you have to find that specific booking with that ID. So you're just gonna say that find the all the bookings, find all the bookings. That means inside user bookings we have all the booking IDs. So we are just saying that each ID, just through each ID, just find that booking object and just push it to this array. So you would get all the booking objects, complete booking object instead of the ID now. Okay, then as a response you're just going to send that specific bookings. Okay, that means all the bookings of the users will be sent. Okay, would be sent. That's it. And for getting the user, we are going to use this auth.js. You can see get user, we are going to use this API. Okay, so we already created this. That's it. So now let's come back to the profile page. Here we are just going to call two APIs, that is get booking API and the get user API. So get bookings, and one more thing is get user data. Fine, these are two APIs which we are going to call. Now inside this, I'm just gonna call get user bookings. Automatically you're just gonna send the credentials, and automatically according to this cookies are extracted in the backend and you get the user bookings accordingly. Okay, so for that obviously you must be logged in. Then after that, if the response is successful, if then okay is true, then I'm simply going to set the data. Okay, so the bookings would actually come in this format. So you can see booking actually comes in this format, a single booking. You can see this is a single booking. It has a lot of fields here. You can see along with the seats, this is a single booking. Along with this, you can have multiple bookings also, because the user might be booking multiple movies for multiple days or different kind of time intervals. So everything you're receiving here. Okay, so this format is here. So for now I'll just leave it as it is. Okay, so for reference I've taken it here. Similarly, you're gonna call the user data also. Okay, let me just add the catch statement also. Okay, after this, we're gonna get the user also similarly. So for getting the user, just fetch the get user API. After this, once you receive the user, again I would also show you how the user looks like. Okay, so once you receive the user, you can see the user object would look something like this. Okay, if data dot okay is true, you're just setting the user. Okay, that's it. So this is the user, and you can see we are receiving the bookings, but they were in the form of ID. That's why we called booking separately, and this is a separate API which would give us proper booking objects. Okay, that's it. So you can see we have it now. we are gonna show this into our page. Okay, so we're just gonna say that first of all the division name is suppose the profile. Inside this you're gonna show your profile heading. Okay, again I'm gonna say that we have a division for users, so from the user hook we're gonna extract the user details. So I'll just say we are going to create a few divisions which would show us the details. Okay, so we'll just say that inside this we're just going to show the username, user email, and user city, right? Similarly guys, we are going to show the bookings also. So I'll just say we have the bookings, right? So we're just going to say that just show the bookings. Okay, so bookings are multiple bookings. Okay, so we're just going to say that inside the details I'm gonna show my booking. Okay, I'm giving common classes, but you can change the class names. So I'm just gonna say that map my bookings. There can be multiple bookings, right? So for showing it inside this, I'm gonna show my booking inside a class name named as booking. Okay, that's it. From a booking, you can extract a few details like movie title, movie name, and what you can extract details also like seats. Okay, so you can extract seats also, so you're just gonna say what seats are booked. So I'm just gonna map my seats like this. Okay, so I'm just gonna map according to the seat ID. Okay, you'll just get the seats by seat ID, and you can actually add one more thing, like for example you want to add the like you would receive the complete seat object. Okay, let me just show you. So you would receive the complete seat object, so you can see you get the row also, so you can add this also row column. So you can say E0. Okay, so you'll just say at here itself I would just add the ID here. Okay, so I'll just say that seat dot row. Okay, after this I would add seat dot column. Okay, so E0 means the first column of each row, and this would be the seat ID of that specific. Okay, now after this we want to show one more thing, that is price and payment type, payment ID, and show time. Okay, these are all the details which are remaining here. That's what we have already shown here. Okay, so these are the things which we are showing here. Let me just show you. So you can see first of all this doesn't exist. I think I've given the wrong name. So F2 actually, oh, it's the CSS file. Okay, fine. So now guys, you can see if I reload this I must get the data, but right now I'm not getting the data. Why I'm not getting the data? Because I have to call the function. Okay, so I think I haven't called these functions. So yes, I haven't called these functions, so I have to call these functions. So again, in the use effect I would just call these functions. That is, whenever this page loads, just call this function, just call this function. Okay, that's it. So now if I just reload, यार, I think I have to log in also. Okay, I have to log in also. So let's write this H123. And you can add check login everywhere, similar to homepage. We have added check login to homepage. Similarly, you can add it everywhere using the same logic. So now, first of all, go to our profile. You can see we are getting the data. Okay, so I'm just gonna write a very basic CSS here, which is going to show my data here. Okay, so this is the very basic CSS. I've just added some properties here. You can check out the CSS later on, and that's it. You can see it looks like this. Okay, so this is the user profile, user details, and you can later on modify it. Right now I've just shown the data like this, and you can see these are the bookings. Okay, so here guys, the problem is you're not getting the movie title. Okay, you're not getting the movie title because of what? Let's see what's the problem is. So you are showing the movie. Okay, we are showing the movie ID by title. Okay, the problem is we don't have the movie name here. Can see that we don't have the movie name here, we just have the movie ID. So we'll just do one thing, either you can call the movie title or you just add this ID. You just add this ID. Okay, that's it. That's it. Okay, that's it. So right now I'm just adding the IDs. That's it. So you can see that we are having all the bookings of this user. Okay, that's it. So you can see that the project is completed. Now what would happen whenever this booking is done? You can actually redirect the user to the profile page. So I'll just say window dot whenever the booking is done. That means after this page, you can see whenever booking is done, booking is successful. You can see I'm sending the user to which page? I'm sending the user to booking page. So window dot location You can use the Next.js routing also, but right now I'm just gonna write it this way. This is also fine for basic project, but yeah, the optimal way is to write Next.js routes, okay, according to the Next.js route. So I'm just gonna say send the user to the profile page. So now let's go to the home page, and for example, I'm booking this movie. Okay, this is some movie. Can see right now it doesn't have any shows, so you can see it looks like this. I think I have to add some shows, but you can add some shows later on. Right now let's talk only about this. It has some shows, so book ticket. And for fifth, you can see I have some shows. If I click on select, can see I can book some seats. Okay, so I am very rich, so I'm gonna book the complete recliner row, and I'm gonna, suppose we have couples. Okay, so we're gonna book these. Okay, fine, fine. So a lot of couples. Fine. So yeah, bill बन गया 7,800 का. So book now. So you can see after this the booking would be successful. Okay, so that's how it is, and you would find the booking of 7,800. Okay, so you can see it looks like this. Okay, fine. So these are all the bookings available, and you can see that the project has been completed. Okay, so you can add more CSS to it, you can make it more beautiful, but the main part was the complete booking logic which we have completed here. Okay, so if someone is working on system design, they know how complicated these things are. Like you have to book things, you have to get the screen, you have to get the movie, you have to get the payment, you have to get the price, what's the type of seat, all of things have been covered here. Okay, so one thing is payment gateway type. So right now I haven't added the payment gateway to it because right now India is having some issues with Razorpay, and I usually use Razorpay, so I'm having issues with that. So right now I haven't used the payment gateway, but just before the booking you can redirect the user to payment gateway, then as a response you would make successful, okay, according to that. But I'm skipping the payment gateway, and we have just made the booking directly. Okay, so that's it for today guys, and you can see that the project is completed. Now I'm gonna upload this source code on my GitHub profile. Okay, so let's do that. So actually I'll do this after the ending of this video. For the profile, what you can do is you can simply visit github.com/viraj014. Okay, so this is my GitHub profile. You can follow me here, and also you can check out my Instagram. You can message me there also, and in the repositories you would find the movie booking 3x backend. Okay, so you can simply search for 3x, you would get all the projects. Okay, you will simply search for movie booking 3x, and you would get all of them. So you can see movie booking 3x backend. This is the backend, this is the front end client side, this is the admin. Okay, so you can see we have all these three. You can check out all these three, and if you want to use these projects anywhere, definitely you can add your modifications also as per your demand. Okay, so after this, what next, what we would do is we would have an extra session for deployment of MERN stack projects for free. Okay, so it was like some people were demanding deployment of MERN stack projects using Node.js, and like if they are using MERN stack, they are using Node.js and React.js, so obviously they want to deploy it for free somewhere. So for backend that is in Node.js, they can deploy it on cyclic.sh, and frontend can be deployed on varsil.com. If you are still facing issues, we are gonna have an extra session tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow. It would be scheduled in the channel, Geeks development channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and you can definitely watch that video, next video, which would be for live hosting of MERN stack project. Okay, so I hope you understood this, and in the comment section I would provide one more link of a form which would be for your projects. Okay, so I'll just show you the link, and I would provide that link in the comment section. What you have to do is you can simply fill this form multiple times for multiple projects. You just have to provide your details and GitHub repository for frontend, backend, and admin panel. If you have all these three, then that's fine. If you only have frontend, that's also fine. Just post your projects, and then we have the project hosted link. Okay, so this is the hosted link wherever you have hosted here. Okay, so you have to add all these links here, and you can miss out any links. It's not mandatory to fill all the links, but yeah, do share all of your projects, and I would definitely love to look at all of them. And if we get a proper response in this, so I would be taking a proper review on the upcoming sessions on these projects live. Okay, so I'll just share this in the description or in the comment section later on, so you can find that link there. Okay, so guys, I hope you understood this video. That's it for today. I hope you understood this, and I will see you in the next one with the hosting video. Okay, till then, bye bye.